Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Easy English, the podcast. I'm Mia, and today I'm going to talk about one of the most famous books about motivation. Why we do things, why we stop, why we continue, and why we sometimes suddenly feel full of energy. The book is called Drive, The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us. Drive means motivation, and the author is Daniel Pink. But don't worry, everything you hear in this episode is in simple, beginning-level English. I will give you smooth stories, clear examples, and many ideas connected to your English learning journey. You do not need to read the full book, and you do not need difficult vocabulary. You only need your ears, your curiosity, and a quiet moment for yourself. In this episode, I will explain what motivation really is, what gives you energy from inside, how you can use these ideas to learn English better, how real progress feels, and how to stay motivated even when your energy is low. We will go step by step, chapter by chapter. So, sit back, relax, breathe slowly, and let's begin this journey together. Okay, my friends, imagine this. You're sitting at your desk. Your English notebook is open. Your pen is ready. Your phone is silent. But inside, something feels strange. Your mind says, learn English, but your body says, maybe later. This small fight inside you, this little push and pull, is the beginning of motivation. The author starts with a simple idea. Human motivation is not simple. It is complicated. It is a puzzle, and many people understand it incorrectly. For many years, people believed that humans move only for two reasons: reward, when you get something good, and punishment, when you want to avoid something bad. This idea is called the carrot and stick. Carrot means reward, and stick means punishment. For example, if you finish your homework, you get chocolate. If you don't finish your homework, you get no TV. If you study English, you get a high score. If you don't study, you fail. This system works for animals and very simple tasks, but it does not work well for humans doing difficult, creative, emotional, or long-term tasks. Tasks such as learning a language. The author says, humans are not donkeys. Humans don't work well with carrots and sticks. Humans are different. We have minds full of dreams. We have hearts full of meaning. We want to grow, not just follow rules. Daniel Pink shares a story about scientists who tried to understand motivation. They gave people small puzzles. The puzzles were fun, and people enjoyed solving them. But then the scientists added money. They said, if you solve the puzzle fast, you get money. And something strange happened. People stopped enjoying the puzzle. They solved it slower, and their creativity became weaker. Why? Because money changed the feeling. Before money, the puzzle felt fun, natural, and playful. After money, the puzzle felt like a job. Daniel Pink calls this idea extrinsic motivation. Now, extrinsic is a difficult word, but don't worry, I will explain it clearly. Extrinsic motivation means motivation that comes from the outside. Extra means outside. For example, money, grades, prizes, pressure, fear, or someone saying, do this or else. These are all examples of extrinsic motivation. This kind of motivation works for short tasks, but it destroys creativity for big, complex activities. And learning English is a big, complex activity. The author says there is a second kind of motivation, and it is the better kind. It's called intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic means from the inside. This is motivation that comes from your own heart. For example, I learn English because I enjoy progress. I learn English because I want to travel. I learn English because it feels good. I learn English because I want to understand movies. I learn English because it makes me feel free. Intrinsic motivation is powerful. It is soft but strong, quiet but deep, slow but consistent. It doesn't disappear quickly, it grows with time. When you feel intrinsic motivation, you don't need anyone to push you. You move by yourself. Many learners say, I study English to get a job. I study to pass IELTS. I studied to get a certificate. I study because my parents want it. These reasons are not bad. Actually, they can be helpful. But they are external. They are extrinsic. They don't give deep energy. When you study English only because you must, you feel tired very quickly. But when you learn English because it makes you feel strong, helps you talk to the world, gives you a bigger life, makes you feel proud, gives you personal freedom, or helps you express your true self, you don't feel tired anymore. You feel alive. Here is a simple way to understand the whole chapter. Extrinsic motivation means I do this because someone else wants it. Intrinsic motivation means I do this because I want it. Extrinsic motivation is weak. Intrinsic motivation is strong. Extrinsic motivation is short. Intrinsic motivation is long. Extrinsic motivation is like a battery. It finishes, it dies. Intrinsic motivation is like the sun. It gives energy again and again. Now we enter Chapter 2, the 3 elements of true motivation. In this chapter, the author explains the 3 big elements that create strong, deep, and long-lasting motivation. When you understand these 3 elements, your English learning journey will feel lighter, smoother, and more natural. It will feel like walking downhill, not uphill. Daniel Pink explains that human motivation has 3 big parts: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. These are huge ideas, and I will define each of them in simple English.
Let's talk about autonomy. Autonomy means freedom to choose. It means you can decide how to do something. Humans love autonomy. They love freedom. We feel more alive when the choice is ours. Think about your English journey. If someone says, study now, read this, do 3 exercises, you feel pressure, heavy, and controlled. But when you choose, I want to listen now, I want to watch a video, I want to read a short story, I want to practice with Mia from Easy English the podcast for 10 minutes, something inside you opens. You feel light, calm, and free. That feeling is autonomy. The author says humans work better when they have autonomy, when they have freedom, when they have a choice. Now imagine 2 learners. Learner A receives homework from their teacher and they must do it. They have no choice. They feel stressed and tired. Learner B, on the other hand, can choose. I will learn vocabulary by watching Easy English the podcast, or I will do shadowing for 5 minutes, or I will read a simple story before sleep. Which learner feels more motivated? Which learner grows faster? Of course, learner B, because freedom gives energy. When you are free to choose, you naturally have more energy. Even small choices create big motivation. Now let's talk about mastery. Mastery is another difficult word, so let me explain it clearly. Mastery means getting better and better at something. It is the feeling of progress, the feeling of, I can do this now. Mastery feels good. It gives joy, confidence, and pushes you forward. Daniel Pink says mastery has 3 important qualities. Mastery is a journey, not a final place. You never finish learning, you keep growing. Mastery needs effort. You must practice again and again. Mastery gives deep satisfaction. It makes you feel proud of yourself. Now let's connect this to English learning. Think about when you first started English. Maybe you only knew the words hello and thank you. But now you understand this podcast. You understand stories. Every day you understand more and more. That is mastery. The author explains something very interesting. We feel happiest when we are working on something a little difficult, but not too difficult. Not too easy because you get bored, not too hard because you get stressed. Medium difficult is the best because it helps you grow. It is the perfect learning zone. Here's an English example. When English feels too easy, like reading a children's book, you understand everything, you feel bored, and you stop learning. When English feels too hard, like reading a scientific article, you understand nothing, you feel overwhelmed, and you want to quit. When English feels just right, you listen to an A2 or B1 podcast from Easy English, the podcast. You understand maybe 80%. You learn new words, you feel proud, and want to continue. That is mastery. Mastery is all about progress, not perfection. The next word is purpose, the reason behind your effort. Purpose means your big reason, your deep reason. Purpose is the why behind your actions. The author explains that humans need purpose. We need to feel that our work matters. When we have purpose, we feel strong. When we lose purpose, we feel lost. Now let's connect this to your English learning. If you study English only for a test, your purpose is small. But if you study English because you want to better life, because you want to travel, because you want to talk to the world, understand books, help others, grow your mind, connect with new people, or gain more freedom, your purpose becomes big. And big purpose creates big motivation. Let's do a small exercise. Close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself, why do I truly learn English? Listen to your heart, not your teacher, not your exam, not society, your heart. What does it say? That answer is your purpose. Hold it, protect it, and remember it every day. Because purpose gives you the energy to continue even when you feel tired. Okay, my friends, that brings us to the end of today's episode. I'm here with you every step of the way. Whenever you need clarity, direction, or motivation that comes from inside, you know where to find me. Easy English, the podcast. Thank you for listening, thank you for learning, and thank you for growing with me on this journey. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow Easy English, the podcast, for more simple, clear, and powerful English learning lessons. I'm Mia, and I'll be waiting for you in the next episode. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep shining.